So I was out there in the streets and I loved it. The best job on earth. Every time people see the lights, right? What do? We're goosenecking. Oh, I have the front row to the best show on earth. That's what they say because I'm right there in the mix. Like, oh yeah, I know what's going on. Yeah, keep it moving. Go ahead. You're holding up traffic. So I did that for 8 years. While I was on the job, I met my husband at a auto accident.
Wow.
So yes,
What a funny origin story. How did
I know, right? Of course, well, when I was a police officer, I was a free agent, right? No husband, no kids. When we got married, it's like, okay, I want kids now. So now I'm looking at life totally different, right? Now I need to think twice about it because someone now relies on me. Well, two people, my husband expects me to come home and I have a little girl. I was raised in, you go to school, you graduate, you get a job.
Get a good job, get a good degree, that kind of thing, yeah.
So when I seen the flexibility of him going out with his family, with our children, and I had to do details, I had to go to work, it's like, oh, I'm missing out on all the family things, and you can't get that back. I was sitting in NPO, which is training for police officers, and I'm like, I do not want to do this anymore. I can't take it. And that's what transitioned the shift from police officer to entrepreneur. Freedom is what it is. It's freedom. Everyone wants to be an entrepreneur, but it requires structure. So the same hours that I was giving the police force, I'm going to give that same time into my business. I'm going to grow my baby.
Self-rewarding, self-validating that, hey, all this time and effort that I've put into this is actually paying off. Totally agree.
Absolutely.
Okay, everyone, welcome back to Buyers on Demand. This is a podcast all about exposing marketing secrets for real estate agents. And the 30-second pitch of that in terms of my story is that I was once a real estate media guy, so taking the photos, taking the videos, I was able to help a ton of agents market their homes faster than before with some of the media that I was doing. I then transitioned into real estate marketing. And during this time when I was doing real estate marketing, my team and I noticed that there were a lot of secrets out there that were gatekept behind paywalls, meaning we saw that agents were being taken advantage of for things that we thought should be publicly available, hence why we created this podcast. And so it's with great pleasure that I'm with Sheena today. And Sheena, I hope in our discussion today that we'll be able to uncover some of these marketing secrets that I'm discussing in this intro. Sheena, I'll describe how I know you in terms of this is basically our first real interaction. How I know you from behind the screen is that I know you to be a former police officer in Philadelphia for 8 years, also a former and current entrepreneur. I know at one point you ran a logistics company, a cleanup company, a mother of 4 children, again, a current entrepreneur now with other business endeavors in addition to real estate. And I know that working in real estate was a way for you to clear your mental, right? To gain mental clarity and to continue prospering mentally, physically, and of course, financially. And so that's what I know about you from behind the screen. But Sheena, for the audience, how would you describe yourself for everyone watching at home?
You got it all, Sean. No, that is it in a nutshell. Everything you did your homework. You did your homework and
Awesome.
You laid it all right. I will give you an A++, as my daughters say. You get an A++ today.
Amazing. Let's walk back to the origin story where you're in Philadelphia. Tell us a little bit about how you become a police officer, your career as a police officer, and then of course, you're the first person I've ever talked to that's gone from police officer to real estate. So I'm really curious.
It's such an extreme, right?
Yes. I would love to hear how it started and how it's going.
Okay, so Philadelphia is where I was born and raised. I've always had a passion for interior decorating, right? That's how it all starts. In Philadelphia, we're an old city, so all of the homes are townhomes. We call them row homes. Everyone's stuck together. It's like 40, 50 houses on a block. That is the norm to me. So as growing up, my mom would take us out. We would do family reunions down the south. And then that's when we really start seeing single homes. And then it's like, oh, okay, this is interesting. So houses are not stuck together. Okay. And then as we got older, my aunt moved to Georgia from by way of the military, and there was like new homes. And I was like, wow, new construction. this is interesting. Because growing up, I watched my stepdad turn our tub into a shower, like a shower head, like 1996. Okay. I was excited, like, oh, we get a shower. This is fancy. So that really started triggering me all about interior decorating, architect, like just the whole layout, the whole shebang. So that really started my passion in real estate. How I got into a police officer is I was transitioning colleges. I was at Slippery Rock, which is upstate Pennsylvania, and I wanted to get into nursing. So while I took that semester off, me and my brother, we put an application at the municipal building. And I was like, oh, let's just see where it takes us, right? I got into Alvernia, out Reading, started going through my nursing course, and the police called me back. So I was moving through my psychology test and all of the things. It perfectly lined up. Spring semester of '06, I got done school. They're like, oh, you could start the academy. Wow. It was May 22nd, 2006. I'm good with numbers, though. Started the academy, did that for 8 months. I graduated December 14th. The city helped pay for some of my school. So I said, okay, I'll finish schooling. But now I transitioned from nursing to criminal justice because I still wanted to get my degree. And then I started daughter force. I was a rookie. I said, I'll take the first year off of school. I don't know what to expect. And I wanted to be out in the street. I didn't want to be behind a desk. So I ran with the boys. That's what I call it. So I was out in the streets and I loved it. The best job on earth. The best job on earth. Because what is it? Every time people see the lights, right? What do they do? We're goosenecking. Oh. And I have the front row to the best show on earth. That's what they say, because I'm right there in the mix. Like, oh yeah, I know what's going on. Yeah, keep it moving. Go ahead. You're holding up traffic. So I did that for 8 years. While I was on the job, I met my husband at a auto accident.
Wow.
Yes,
What a funny origin story. How did
I know, right? So there's this thing called wreck chasers in Philadelphia where they listen to police scanners or medic scanners and they chase accidents. But this particular day, he was at Bible study. His dad ran the accident. He called him. He was blowing his phone. I'm like, you have to come now. I found your wife. So it's like really a modern day arranged marriage because his dad found me. So it's like, he's like, Dad, I'm in Bible study. He's like, God will forgive you. You have to get down here now. Right. So he comes in hot and he's like, I'm getting the report from both parties. I'm calling AID, which is the Accident Investigation Division. We have to make sure that there's no injuries so that they can release the scene so traffic can flow normally. But it's a rollover. It's in an intersection. Car got T-poned. It's rolling over. So I need them to flip the car over to open the scene up. He has on a black T-shirt, white shorts. That's how vividly I remember. And he gets on the ground with the J-hooks. That's what he needs to put under the car to roll it over. I'm like, who gets on the ground in white shorts? Like, he is showing off, right? Like, so I'm like, okay. So I finished doing my report. And he comes over and he's like, well, why you have your phone out? You might as well put my number in. I was like, oh,
Really?
yes.
Smooth
Yes. And
criminal.
usually, who has the audacity to come approach a police officer, right?
Yeah.
You hitting on me in uniform.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Amazing. And
ever
so
since
what's your
then,
reaction when he says that?
he's like, I'm like, really? And I had to give it to him. I had to, because he was that brave.
That's
He
an
was that
awesome
brave.
story.
So we were good friends and we dated for 2 years and then we got married and we had kids and now she's 16 years married and 4 kids.
Wow. Wow.
Yep.
And so this is in Philadelphia. This is when you're a police officer. You say it's the
Mm-hmm.
best job in the world because you got the front row seat to the best show in the world. Tell us a little bit about some of your favorite moments as a police officer, and then what caused you to go from I'm leaving the best job in the world to trying something completely different, left field maybe.
So, of course, well, when I was a police officer, I was a free agent, right? I started off with no husband, no kids. So then as I got into the love, if you will, your perspective on life changed, right? It's like, oh, now I have someone else that I want to get to know. I want to build that relationship. And from there, when we got married, it's like, okay, I want kids now. So now I'm looking at life
Yeah.
totally different, right? So all of the things that I once was brazen to do is like, okay, now I need to think twice about it because someone now relies on me. Well, two people, my husband expects me to come home and I have a little girl.
Sure.
So after my son in 2014, 2014, is when I really started to see the entrepreneur life because he's always been entrepreneur. That's he was raised in tow trucking, his family, that's all they did. I was raised in, you go to school, you graduate, you get a
Right. Get a
job.
good job, get a good degree, that kind of thing. Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So when I seen the flexibility of him going out with his family, with our children, and I had to do details, I had to go to work, it was like, oh, I'm missing out on all the family things. I'm missing out on important moments. And you can't get that back. So
Sure.
now I'm like, well, babe, I don't want to do this anymore. And he's like, well, you don't have to. I'm like, really? Okay. But what happens if we argue and then I need money?
Right.
I need some way.
Right. Right.
I need a way to support myself. He's like, well, find something you like to do. So then that became my first venture. When I was pregnant with my son, I started planning a baby shower. I hate wicker chairs. I
Mm,
hate them with a passion. Those are
mm,
those chairs back in the
mm-hmm.
80s we used to take with the family pitch. I
Mm-hmm.
can't stand them.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to pitch an idea of baby showers. Let's just do something cool, like have special chairs for the guests to stand out. I mean, for the honorees to stand out from the guests. And that's when I started getting into throne chairs. I will import them from Indonesia. I had to fill up like a 20-foot container and import them. I would get them from the port of Baltimore, get in a U-Haul, inspect them, take them off the crate and everything, and bring them in. That started 2014. Business is booming. And I'm like, okay, I'm still out on maternity leave. I had to go back. I took 6 months. October, I was due back. I was sitting in NPO, which is training for police officers. We have to do a yearly training to stay up on the laws and procedures. And I'm like, I do not want to do this anymore. I can't take it.
Mm,
And that's what transitioned the shift from
mm,
police officer to entrepreneur.
mm. And so, what was that first transition like, where you are like, okay, I can't do it anymore. I've taken it. Like I've done as much as I could up until this point, but now it's time for me to try to build something beyond myself, maybe for my kids and whoever. What was that initial step like? Because for example, I was just talking with someone yesterday who he had just left. He had worked in a warehouse for about like 10 years, give or take. And he was describing this step of going from working for someone else to working for yourself being this huge drastic change. It's basically like your whole world is flipped
It
upside down.
is.
So
Yes.
yeah, tell us
You
a little
know
bit
what?
about that.
Freedom is what it is. It's
Yeah.
freedom.
Yeah.
I can do what I want, so to speak, but you still have to have that structure. So there's that fine line
Yes.
where everyone wants to be an entrepreneur, but it requires structure. Yes, you can get up when you want. Yes, you can go to sleep or you can do whatever, but you have to be able to say, okay, this is my business, and I still need to be able to do that business.
Right.
So the same hours that I was giving the police force with my overtime, because I was killing overtime, I'm going to give that same time into my business. I'm going to grow my baby. And there's nothing more rewarding than seeing what you produce blossom into this big
Sure.
old, it's like, whoa,
Sure.
I did that from
Sure.
nothing. And it just keeps on going. Then you want to start, I want to start something else. Oh, let me see how I can grow this business. Oh, what do you think about this? I have an idea for that. And that's just, it's I guess for people who are career students who want that degree, they want to have to constantly get degree after degree. It's that type of feeling.
Yes. Yes.
Self-rewarding. Yeah,
Self-rewarding, self-validating that, hey, all this time and effort that I've put into this is actually paying off. Totally agree.
absolutely.
It's funny with all the things that you bring up about your husband saying go and find stuff that you like to do, and it seems like one of the things that you recognized was, hey, early on, as you mentioned at the beginning of this conversation, as a child I used to always love looking at nice houses and doing X, Y, and Z. I'm
Yep.
assuming those were some of the initial thoughts in your head of like, okay,
Uh-huh.
how do I find what I really want to do? So I say it's funny, and I'm curious really, because when I talk to various entrepreneurs, their business now, in terms of how they envision it, is completely different than how they envisioned it on day one. And so I'm curious for you, on day one, was the goal, I want to be a realtor and I want to have this successful real estate business, or did you want to try something completely different and that morphed into real estate? Curious there.
So I think what really made me hone in on real estate is when I wanted to move. When me and him had our first child, we were in an apartment and I wanted to get us a house. And that's what really said, oh, I remember that vacation where we went and we see new construction. I wonder if they have new construction here in Pennsylvania. I knew we didn't have it in Philadelphia, but on the outskirts, right? So being a police officer just opened up the law. It was a law before where you had to be a Philadelphia resident. They did not allow us to move outside the county. Well, they changed that in 2012, I want to say. So when I had my son in 2014, I'm like, oh, let's start looking for houses.
Sure.
And then that's what started triggering me. So, okay, I'm not really all the way into the realtor realm, but it gave me the insight, right?
Idea.
I'm going out, I'm going to the design center, I'm picking my lot out.
Yeah.
I'm picking out my finishes. So that right there, it fed me at that time being, right? And then I started to see a pattern, which we moved every 4 to 5 years. And I figured out, why am I moving every 4 to 5 years? And that's what it came down to, is that I want to be a realtor. How can I fulfill that without spending money?
Sure.
Keep moving, packing up,
Sure.
unpacking, packing up, unpacking. Sheena, just go be a realtor.
Yeah, it's almost like, how can I do what I'm doing now when I'm going and looking at homes, going and touring different homes? How can I do that while getting paid for doing that? So
Yes.
that
Yes.
totally makes sense to me. And one thing that's really inspiring about your story from what you've told me so far is that, for example, and this is not to diminish anyone else's stories, but for example, like I've talked to other people who maybe they're starting off in real estate when they're 20, 21, 22. You know, they don't have the weight of the world per se on their shoulders. But for you, as a mom of 2 at the time, you know, and now of course a mom of 4, it's so commendable from from what I'm hearing about your story, that like you decided, with having kids and a husband to take care of as well, to go and flip this whole world of, I know I get paid every 2 weeks, I know I get paid overtime, to now I gotta fend for myself and figure it out.
Absolutely.
And my
Yep.
kids depend on me to do so. And that, to many people, is terrifying enough just thinking about it
Yeah.
to never do it. So it's really commendable that you even decided to take that leap. Was fear ever a factor in your mind when you made this decision, or you just knew from day one it's going to
Nope.
work no matter what?
We are a very spiritual family.
Yeah.
And he did not give me fear. He give me a vision, and I have that connection with him where I know what he says I'm going to do. And a lot of times we miss our calling because of fear, or I'm scared to. And it's like, oh, no, baby, he's telling you that. That is him. You go and do it. I lived this. I say you only get one thing at this chance called life.
Yes.
I don't want to
Yeah.
be 80 sitting in my rocker singing my wish I coulda, shoulda, wouldas.
Yeah.
And that is literally what I tell my kids. If there's something that you want to do, baby, come on, let's go try it. Because all we're going to do is say, okay, I tried it. Now let's reset. Let's see where we went wrong, or let's see what happened. And then we go back and try it again on a different angles. Just like when we're doing math problems. How did I get that answer again? Show your work.
Yeah. There
Isn't
you
it
go.
what the team say?
There you
Show
go.
your work.
There you go. And that's why I say it's so inspiring, because I know, like, for example, in some of my entrepreneurial endeavors in my journey so far, I'll be honest with you, on day one, I did not have this like completely level-headed faith that it would all work out. I was very nervous. I was very, scared that, like, what do I do? And what happens if this happens? And what happens if this happens? And, you and I are both here because we continued to tread on with the fears.
There you go.
But that's why I'm saying it's so, it's so inspiring to hear that you just knew, like, it's going to work, and I'm going to put my mind to it, and it doesn't matter,
Yep. There is no
that's
plan
awesome.
B.
There's no plan B.
There is no plan B. 'Cause that means you have to give it your all.
Amazing.
And that's how I treat real estate. I have to give it my all. I don't have a side job. Yes, when I first got my license, it was slow for me because as a realtor, you have to use your sphere, right? I'm new to Texas. I came down here. I'm new. I don't have a sphere. My kids are homeschooled. So if my kids were in school, I could rely on some of the parents, right? That get to know me. We're at clubs. They swim and they played soccer. So I did have a little bit of a sphere, but that wasn't my focus. It was mainly about getting my kids integrated into a new community, making sure they're comfortable, and having nice, good play dates, if you will, right?
Sure.
That was my focus, making
Sure.
sure the kids are good and their environment is healthy so that they can thrive. Once I found out that that was good, okay, we're going to get my real estate license. I joined the team. My team was awesome. Showed me everything under the sun. I mean, everything. I had a good team lead. I did. And now it's time for me to branch off on my own. So we're in 26, 24. April 24 is when I got my license. That year was so slow. It was slow for everybody. Everybody. So I sat here and I said, babe, I need to do something different. I have to do something different. So at the time, again, spare you need for buyers and sellers. I didn't know anyone who's going to trust me.
Sure.
So it's the easy next thing. Leases. Everybody needs to lease, right? So I played the long game. Got into leases. The leases turned into buyers. Buyers turned into renters. And I took off from there. I look at people, a lot of agents look at leases as pennies. I am one who's going to pick the pennies up off the ground. I
Sure.
always have.
Sure.
And that is how today I would say I am really thriving. Matter of fact, I had a virtual closing today. I'm on my third closing already.
There you go. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And and we'll get to that in 1 second. I think there's so many good nuggets that you just mentioned in that that what you just brought up. One of the things that I thought really stuck out to me, I bookmarked it in my mind, was you saying when you moved from Philadelphia to Houston, you didn't have a sphere of influence. You didn't know anyone. And that is so relatable to so many realtors that I speak to that say, I just moved, whether it's, because of work, whether it's family, whatever the case is, I know nobody. How in the world am I ever going to grow my real estate business? And so can you give maybe some tactical tips on what you did day one in a new city, in a new town? How did you go about growing your real estate business?
Team. You have to join the team, especially when you're new. So the team is already here, right? They know everybody. They have all the connections. You go, you join the team. I call it, you pay your dues to the school of the hard knocks. There's going to be a percentage cut. It's going to hurt. It is going to hurt. It hurt me, but I looked at the bigger picture. My team lead, she fed me. So I got a lot of quantity, and that became with the leases. So once you start getting in, you find your niche, because they always say, what is it that you want to do?
Sure.
Is it that you want to do residential? Do you want to do commercials? Do you want to do buyers? Do you want to do sellers? I chose to do leases. That was the easiest way for me to connect to someone with them not having to know me. It's a small thing, but as you get the volume, they start to add up, and now you're just dropping. Here you go. You're getting paid here. You're getting paid here. You're getting paid here. You don't have to wait that 30, 60, or 6 months out to get paid from a buy or a sell.
And
it's right there.
What's funny about that too is that you are describing what I see is very common amongst a lot of the top producers that I talk to, a lot of just the very successful entrepreneurs that I talk to, where they're willing to do things that nobody else are willing to do. What you just said is so true. I hear all the time from other realtors that, oh no, I don't work with renters. Oh no, I don't work with these type of people. Why am I going to put my effort into, $1,000 or $2,000, maybe a $5,000 paycheck? And so they go in just immediately day one, kind of hunt for the whales. And just like you say, okay, go for it. It might take you 9 months to get paid, and you might be doubting yourself along the ways, but you're going to go a different approach and say, let me get the reps in, let me get the volume in, and pick up some of the pennies off the ground. I totally can see where that, not only does that help you get the reps in terms of your business experience, but also you probably get a lot of referral business from that. Although this person,
there you go.
There you go. Yeah.
That's the prize right there.
Yeah.
And those people who, so many people walked over me. They didn't give me a chance. You know how many times I hear, they never call me back. They never pick up the phone. Oh, no, baby, I'm going to give you your flowers now. I'm going to give you your day, because everybody needs somewhere to stay, no matter how small their budget is. And you never know what they can turn into.
Exactly.
honestly, this is just about education.
Yeah.
It's about education.
Yeah. And you know, I've talked to some realtors. Like I spoke with a realtor that works in Miami, and he works with renters out there in Miami, and he tells me all the time what people often overlook is that a lot of his deals that turn into buyers or long-term buyers come from his renters. They rent for maybe 12 months, 14 months, and then they're like, "Hey, you were
Mm-hmm.
great the first time. We're ready to
Mm-hmm.
actually buy our first property." So I'm assuming that also it's this like snowball effect in your pipeline. I'm assuming that that's how it works.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. It is. And I did 38 leases in 6 months last year.
Jeez.
See? You see what I'm
Jeez.
saying? 38 leases in 6 months. So a lot of my leases are, I'm going to say out of the 38, 25 of them was 1 year leases.
Wow.
That's all I got to say.
Wow. Wow.
And I treat all of my clients,
It's amazing.
even after the transaction is done, they're family. They are family. I still stay in contact with them even after the transaction ends.
Sure.
If they have something small question, oh, okay, I'll find it out. What does it hurt?
Sure.
What does it hurt?
Sure. So it's that idea of just like, I was talking with someone the other day who we were talking about mantras, and it's like, what mantra do you have in your head? And one that I hear all the time is this, do more than expected. And that's exactly kind of what you're describing is,
I like that.
do more
I'm
than
taking
expected.
it.
Yeah. I love this conversation that we're going. It's one that I
Yeah.
find that, again, the most successful people that I talk to do the things that people often overlook. And what
Yeah.
you're describing, I mean, 38 leases in 6 months. Can you tell us a little bit of insight on how do you even find these people? How do you find 38 people that are, want to work with you in
It
that time
comes
period?
word of mouth. I'm telling you, when you look at leases, again, that pool of individuals is way greater than any buyer you can imagine. So now, a lot of the times you have roommates, right? So then you get two for the price of one.
There you go, because they're going to want to move out at some point. Totally. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you know what? My you I love how you help my friend. Can you help me? As a matter of fact, my girlfriend is also looking for a house. And then you go, then they're talking, and then a lot of times too, people overhear me talking. Oh, I heard you saying something on the phone. Are you a realtor? Absolutely, honey. I don't carry business cards. This is another secret too. I don't carry business cards for a purpose, right? Business cards, you hand it off, and it's like, oh, okay, I'll keep it. What do? We lose them.
Yeah, they
There
throw it
you
away.
go.
Yeah. Yep.
Me? Oh, here, take my number.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now I'm texting you. So now I got you.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yep.
so it's so funny that you say this because I think about like open houses a lot, and when I'm talking about this
Oh,
and
yeah.
like this discussion, it's so
Mm-hmm.
so adjacent to what you're describing, where the typical realtor will they go to the open house, they have their business card, they say take it and call me when you're ready, and then it just it just goes away. Versus what you're saying is like, here, take my number down. And so my question, same question that I have for realtors that hold open houses is, how do you foster this relationship after maybe the first encounter that you have with someone and all the way after the transaction's over? I'm really curious to hear how you keep this or the relationship going.
So, of course, after every open house that I do, when I do collect the contact information, I do a video message and I identify each individual by their name. Hey, Johnson family, it was a pleasure meeting you today. Listen, the house is beautiful. It may not benefit for you. However, I'm your girl. Whatever it is that you may need, you're looking at, run it past me. I feel free. We can talk about it. No pressure. Have a good day.
That's awesome.
No, I find that if you keep it short and
Yeah.
simple,
Yeah.
that's it. I don't want to sound too salesy.
Yeah.
I just want to be real comfortable, get in and get out. And people appreciate that. And it's sad to say, but it goes back to social media. If you notice, when Facebook and Instagram first started, there was no shorts, there was no reels. They tell you now, what is the best seconds to get someone's attention?
Right. First 3 seconds. Yeah.
There
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
I don't want to give you this long drawn out script because
Yeah.
then I lost you.
Yeah. No, I love this because it's something that I preach to so many realtors like on a daily basis of they need to see your face, like show your face more, like
Yeah.
just because you said like it's funny. A lot of people, including myself at times, we live in this world where we think people think about us as much as we think about ourselves. Like
Yes.
you see someone at open house and you think, oh, they just talked to me 10 minutes ago. They're gonna know me if I send this text. Nope, they're on to what they
Yep.
got, what they got for the rest of the
What's
day,
for dinner?
what's for dinner, what's going on at home. And so you sending a video could be
Yeah.
the complete determining factor versus
Absolutely.
sending a text message saying, "Hey, it was great to meet
Absolutely.
you." And so I
Yep.
100% agree with what you're saying.
Yep. Yep.
Tell me a little bit, because this like I love that you mentioned this video strategy. So now I kind of want to like double down on it a little bit for the audience. Like you need to do the videos.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
But you come from a different world. This would be expected if you said like I was in media or I was in, TV or at some point.
Yeah.
But you were a police officer,
Yep.
and I'm assuming I don't know. I've never been a police officer, but I'm assuming many police officers don't go around and like video themselves a lot. And so, so I'm curious. I mean, well, I take it back. I know they have body cams now, but you know what I mean? Like a selfie style
Yeah.
talking to people, whatever. It's not like you're
Yeah.
gonna FaceTime someone you just arrested. Hey, how's it going? You're just sending a
Mm-hmm.
video,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'm curious, like, where did this camera skill come from? Because a lot of realtors are very shy to put the phone up and say, I'm going to talk to the phone and send these videos out. And so for you to say that, I'm like, wow, that's amazing. Like, I wish everyone would do that. Where did this come from?
Because it's just like I feel like texting is the modern email, you can choose to open it, you can choose to not, or they'll look at it like, oh, okay. But when you see that big box with that play button, it's like, oh wait, what's this?
Yeah,
It's an automatic attention grabber.
yeah, yeah. It's like your own. It's like your personal social, like your personal social media. Totally, I love that.
Yeah, and then the one of the biggest things is too with- I stopped being scripted, if that makes any sense. Um they say, "Oh, here's a script for you to say." I find when you be your natural self, and we all mess up. I'm not going to get it perfect, but that shows my authenticity, right? We all stumble over words from time to time. So now it's just like, "Oh, she's relatable.
Yep,
She's approachable.
yep,
I like her."
yep. And what's funny is I tell this to a lot of people too because
Mm,
I'm very huge on video, especially when it comes to one-on-one messaging. Funny
mm,
story. The way I even got into like filming videos was before I did what I did now. I was in sales. I worked with Microsoft, and I had closed
mhm,
a $2.5 million software deal through a video
mhm.
that I had sent to someone that I had been messaging him for a year and a half. He never responded, but the moment I sent the
Mhm.
video, he responded immediately. And so
See?
ever since that happened, I was like, wow, okay, it totally shifted my mindset.
Game
And
changer.
one thing that I always talk a lot about with other realtors that I have the pleasure of working with or interviewing is you don't just want to send a video to, you want it to almost be as unpolished as possible. Like if you were to
Yeah.
send a very edited video to someone one on one, it immediately signals the idea of this isn't for me, this is for everyone. But when you
Yes.
send that, what you're describing, this selfie video, raw, no
Mhm.
editing,
Mhm.
hey, and you call out their name, it's like, oh,
Mhm.
whoa, she took
Yeah.
time out to
And she
acknowledge me.
remembered me.
Yes, a
Yep.
hundred percent. I love that.
Yep.
I love that. I'm a
Yep.
complete advocate of that. I'm curious because this is something that I've seen a lot in some of my own business and also in other realtors. Video can be a super effective tool to reactivate maybe some old people that you might have talked to in the past, never got back to you. Do you have any
Mhm.
stories where maybe you sent a video to someone that might have ghosted you for a little bit and they came back into the pipeline or anything like that?
So actually, I have been cultivating this fire, if you will.
Yeah.
They're relocating here to Texas, and I got them October of
Hmm.
last year. Uh, they're going through something family crisis. So I always get people their I let people come back to me. I like to show them value initially on in which I did. We met at an open house. They was here visiting family, flew back, sent the message. let it simmer. Hey, just checking in on you. That's it. I don't say anything about, are you still in need of a house? Nothing. Just, hey, just wanted to let you know I'm thinking about you. And they'll say, oh, yeah. And then, how's your day going? And then that gets the conversation started. When they went through the crisis, I didn't hear anything for them, right? I waited a month. So to speak, and to say, hey, I'm just sending you a message, and I wanted to make sure that everything worked out good for you. I'm praying for you, whatever it is, that it will work out in your favor. That's it. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. That meant so much to me. How have you been? And that's it. People just want to know that you care. And
There
that's
you
what it
go.
all comes into. You never know someone's situation.
There you
You
go.
don't know if they're by themselves, or they're estranged from their family. You just don't know. So just to have someone say, I'm thinking about you, or I hope everything's okay, that turns someone's day around.
Hmm.
It does.
It's so funny too because especially in this world that we're moving into, this like new digital age with AI and all this stuff. I recently got a letter in the mail from a vendor who was trying to sell me some stuff. He had been
Mhm.
emailing me for who knows how long, maybe months at this point. He had been trying to message me on Instagram, calling me, whatever the case is. I might have maybe clicked on one of his advertisements or something. But he sent a letter in the mail, and it just said exactly kind of what you're saying. Like it just said, "Hey Sean, been thinking about you," that kind of thing. Regardless of if he's going to send it to 600 people, it made me
Right.
stop and
Mm-hmm.
actually want to reply back because I had
Yes.
been acknowledged. And
Yep.
so that's 100% of like what you're saying of people just
Mm-hmm.
want to feel acknowledged, and I completely wholeheartedly believe in that. So I
Yeah.
love that.
It's just who we are, as humans. Even when I go into the store, if they have a name tag on, I will always call them by their name, and they'll look like, how do you know your name tag, Jeffrey?
Yeah, it's
It's like, oh,
they say it's everyone's favorite word, right? It's like with
yeah,
your name. So yeah,
your name.
yeah,
Indeed, it is.
I love it. I love it. So
Yes.
talk to me a little bit. We talked a lot about video. That's awesome. We talked about the
Hmm.
38 leases in 6 months. Amazing. Tell me a little bit about, you mentioned your team, but do you have any like lead generation strategies that you really um, focus on? I know you mentioned word of mouth and referrals. Do you
Yeah,
do open houses from time to time? Do you call your sphere? Like what are some strategies that you employ from time to time?
I do. I do open houses for various builders. So I focus on new construction. And then a lot of times with those new constructions, those people who are coming in to look at a new home um, need to sell their home. So
There you
it's
go.
like a
It's a two for one. Yeah,
yes, yes, it is.
there you
Yes,
go.
it is. So, then I talk to them about, what it is that they want. What is causing this move? And I get to understand. All you got to do is listen. If you listen to people, they'll tell you exactly what you want to hear. And that is a very special skill. Oh my gosh, there's this guy on YouTube that I watch, and it is the art of listening. It's hard. It is hard, especially me as a talker, but sometimes you have to know when to pause.
Yeah, yeah. No, totally. I mean, that's like from my years in sales, it's like sales 101. As you come in thinking, especially as someone like when I was new to sales, I came in thinking I need to sell the product. I need to sell all the features. I need to talk and talk and talk and describe why this benefits or whatever the case is. But from day one, they said you need to flip everything you've thought about upside down and just listen and
Mhm.
acknowledge what they're saying, add on a couple words, ask more questions than you give answers. And so it sounds exact, what you're describing, it's exactly what I've been told too. So
Yep.
I
And
love it.
that's
I love it.
That's it. Yep, open houses, and then I on social media, I just engage with people when they are if they I do reels. I do a lot of stories, just going out showing houses. If I'm on a tour, if I'm in a model home, I'll just go out tour. And I also, you know what else I do? I do a lot of my personal life. I incorporate it because people want to know who you are as an individual, right? So yeah, you're going to see me 7 a.m., 6:45, London, we need to be in the car. I got to get her to the drop-off line.
Yeah.
You make yourself relatable.
Yeah.
Okay, London's dropped off. Now we got to go get Mega. She got to be out the house by 7:30.
Sure. How do you, so that's actually a really interesting point because I like to ask a lot of realtors, like, how do you come up with content? You know, a lot of times there's kind of two ends of the spectrum. One is I'm just going to document what's going on in my life, which seems like that's you 100%. The other side is like, okay, let me kind of carefully plan it out a little bit, you know, maybe write
I
some
feel
stuff
that's the
down.
hard way.
Yeah.
I find that very hard.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say that comes from being an entrepreneur. We homeschooled our kids for almost all of their life. My daughter, she's in the 10th grade. She just went to school in 8th grade. My son is in the 6th grade. He just went to school in 5th grade for the first time. So we have a very fluid lifestyle. And that's one of the reasons why I love real estate, because if I'm talking to you right now and then someone says, hey, Sheena, can we go tour a house right now? Absolutely. I'm on my way. Hey, listen, Sean, it's been real, but I got to go.
Yeah. We got to
You
go.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's how I treat social media.
Yeah.
It's just like if we're out and about, or just the simplest things of dropping the kids off. Prime example, we had a nail in the tire. My husband had to take the car to go get a new tire, but Mega needed to be picked up. I'm going to get in the golf cart. So I'm driving down my wheels for the day. I got my squad. Everybody say hi.
I love it.
Honey has the car. I'm in the golf cart today because Honey has the car. We caught a nail. And it's like, tag, I understand that. Like, that happened to me just last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I try not to do scripted. Scripted does not work for me.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, how do you, let's talk about balance then. And because like you're describing a really good way to balance your life and social media. And this seems to be a really common, I wouldn't say issue, but maybe roadblock for a lot of people in terms of, okay, how do I go about doing the actual real estate work, and how do I follow up with leads? But also I know I need to be posting once a day, twice a day, whatever the case is. And it's even just the thought of like picking up your camera can be such like a mental drain almost. And so I'm curious if you have some sort of intentional balance that you do in terms of, okay, I know like every afternoon I'm going to pick up my phone and just talk about something, or like every time I'm at a house I'm going to go and do something, or every time I get in the car is my environment where I say I got some content I can do. Is there some sort of how do I say balance or schedule or routine that you get into to create content on a consistent basis?
So with me being a full-time realtor, my favorite line is the money outside. So I'm outside every day. Every day. I don't care if I don't have a showing. I'm doing homework. I'm finding out what's new, what new community is coming. If the existing builders, what's marked down, what do you have in your inventory? What incentives are you offering? Because I'm preparing myself for that buyer that is to come. They may not be here now, but somebody's coming. And I need to be well prepared. I'm doing my homework. So while I'm out, I'm taking footage. And I don't post every day. I'm like, I don't have a schedule on posting. But as long as you're active in your stories, you're good. And stories is so simple. That's just pretty much picking your phone up.
Pick up your phone and talk. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've covered a lot here. We're at 41 minutes. I want to be respectful of our time. I'm going to ask you one, maybe two last questions, because we talked about content. We talked a lot. We talked about your story. Talked about getting into real estate, talked a little bit about faith, so on and so forth. I want to transition just briefly and talk, what we haven't talked about is your area that you're in. You know, you moved from Philadelphia, you chose Houston for maybe a few reasons, which I'm sure, you know, you'll explain here in this answer. And so I'm curious, what have you learned about living in Houston, and why is Houston, a popular destination for so many to relocate to?
So coming from the north down to the south, that southern hospitality that we hear up there is real. When I came down here, we originally came in for logistics. We had a tow truck company, and we would get sent down here for natural disasters by the insurance company. So I'm like, okay, babe, let's move down to where the disaster is. And we did that. We came down with our tow trucks. We still ran them up in Philadelphia. And we just started, going through the motions. But we quickly learned the cost of living is much lower down here than it is up there. So it was a bit of a shock for us. I'm like, okay, we have to do something differently. We need
Yeah.
to pivot.
Yeah.
And then getting into real estate, and that's what really caused us to. When I got into real estate down here with my team and with everyone else, even the builders, the other realtors, everyone always was there with the helping hand. If there was something that I need to know, I am also one that goes by closed mouths don't get fed. So if I don't know something, I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask. And I need you to thoroughly explain it to me to where I can understand it. Down here, I got that. The reason so many people, including myself, why we move here is because it's a totally different atmosphere than up north. Number one being a master plan community. We don't have anything like that up north. So coming down here, finding out that we have amenities inside of where I live that's free of charge, quote unquote. I don't have to pay a day pass, or I don't have to, oh, you can't bring your cooler in here. My kids get to enjoy all of this. Oh, mom, we're going to the park today. Oh, mom, we're going to the pool. Oh, we're going to the clubhouse. That is music to my ears. Like, oh, wow, this stuff really exists? I had no idea. I had no idea. The weather is much nicer. You get more hours out of your day being down here than up north. The sun is out longer. It's warmer right now. Okay, today we were a high of 73. Back home, it's a high of 34. No. I'm losing so much light being indoors. So I came down here for the sun and the houses.
I love it. I love it. Such a perfect answer. I'm in Las Vegas, so I totally know what you mean about the sun and the houses being outside.
Yes.
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 I want to
I like
end
the beautiful.
I want to end off our episode today with quick game.
Okay.
Every episode we end off on a game called How Would You Sell It? And so I'm going to pull up a random listing on Zillow, and with
Okay.
your experience that you have now, with your video strategy, with your marketing, with your open houses, with actually creating valuable relationships, I'd be curious to see how you would sell something like this. Now, be prepared because this is not
Oh,
not
dear
your
God.
average listing here. So let me
Let me
know.
see.
Let me know if you can see my screen here.
I can. All right, let me see here. Hold on. I would meet this bigger. Oh, dear God. Sean,
What happened?
it's beautiful.
For the
Did you see?
for
Is that floor to ceiling mirrors?
for the audience,
Right there.
for the at home listen only audience, how would you how would you describe this condition for us, Sheena?
Okay. This right here has so much potential.
Okay.
Is this a condo?
And it looks like it says apartment 37 here.
Okay, apartment 37 with stairs?
It does appear so, yes.
Okay, apartment 37. This is a handyman specialty. Let me show you the potential in this. We have floor to ceiling mirrors. Okay, we can keep or take out. However, I will keep them. I will pull up that carpet. We will lay down some wood plank tiles.
Yep.
We're going to do a full gut. Full gut. Take it down to the bones. Give everything brand new.
Okay.
Everything, fixtures, walls. If we have to come in just a little bit, we can even expand some. Is that a wall? Okay, we're opening up that wall right there, giving a more open concept, bringing in some more of the natural light. We are already down to limited windows. All that is fully gutted. We're gutting the entire thing. We have a pool. So that is also inviting. That is family. We can hone in on the pool for the family. It's made with natural stone. Okay, that is hard to come by these days. It's hard to come by these days. So we can't paint that. I love the way the grid window is. Bringing in the natural light is there as well. It can bounce off of the mirror, making the place look more brighter. That's why I wouldn't remove the mirrors. And we come in and modernize it. I, ask my client, what type of aesthetic do you feel? Are we looking at more like an industrial, traditional? We can make it boho chic. You tell me where you are, and we can start doing the color palettes.
I love it.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Your answers were perfect. The handyman specialty, I love it. I
Yes.
always love hearing like how realtors sell properties because when I look at this, I'm like, oh man, that
It's hideous.
this is an interesting
But
position
there's
here.
so much
But there's
potential
always
there.
potential. There's always potential.
It's so
Yes,
much.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. Awesome. Sheena, thank you so much for your time. Is there anything that you want to share to the audience as we go? Anything in terms of how to contact you, some of your businesses that you want to promote, anything like that?
Yes. So listen, I am one to help any realtor or anyone entrepreneur that just needs some help trying to get started, kickstart. They don't know where to start or some words of encouragement. Follow me. I am going to respond back to you. I am at Coleman Closes HTX on Instagram, Coleman Closes on Facebook. My name is Sheena Coleman. You can Google me and find me. I am easily accessible. To all my dreamers out there, please do not give up on your dreams. As a matter of fact, I want you to write it down because as long as it stays in your brain, it's just a thought. When you put it down on paper, it turns into reality.
Couldn't have ended this episode any better, Sheena. Thank you so much for your time.
You're so welcome. I appreciate
Of
you,
course.
Sean.
Of course. I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir.
All right. Bye.
Bye.